Dreams. They can be the stuff of magic or the stuff of nightmares. But what are dreams? Where do they come from and why? Ancients interpreted dreams as messages, a form of supreme divination. Scholars and shamans alike believe dreams to be a conduit between you and your subconscious, a divine connection to your higher self. Within the secret chamber of unconscious thought lies messages, warnings, and insights awaiting interpretation. Whether they are perceived as good or bad, dreams attempt to draw your attention to something important. They are, after all, believed to be conversations with your other self, the parts of you you cannot reach, painting a picture only you can see. Falling, one of the most common dreams shared amongst humans. It is thought to be symbolic of anything in life that may see rises and falls. That includes relationships, finances, health, even emotions. That which can reach the highest of highs can also see the lowest of lows. Overall, falling signifies an unacknowledged loss of control. This is usually over something perceived to be important. If falling wasn't alarming enough, how we fall can change what the dream's interpretation is in regard to. You're standing on a cliff. You see the horizon in front of you, the wind on your skin, and your feet firmly planted on the ground. And then, suddenly, that strong foundation is no longer underfoot. A vertical fall of this nature represents a loss of contact. Contact with loved ones, contact with the world, contact with yourself. Falling off of a cliff indicates ongoing stress over someone or something becoming unattainable, out of your reach. You're walking along, and then you trip over yourself or an object. You either fall and hit something, or nothing at all and continue to fall. In either case, this type of fall symbolizes an ever-deepening fear of falling behind or failing. In this world, everyone makes mistakes. When we do, we hopefully learn from them and then move on. When we dream of tripping, we dream of either a mistake already made or a fear of making mistakes in the future. It can also represent a setback or a consequence of a mistake made. Fear rules this form of falling, as it is rooted in anxiety that has reached an unconscious level. Sky falling sounds like a nightmare in real time. Just open air, nothing to grab or hold on to steady yourself. Just you and gravity barreling uncontrollably toward the ground. One might assume death is the meaning here, since there are no lifesavers. But actually, plummeting from the sky represents something much deeper. Something very important demands your attention. Skyfall is the emotional representation of feeling out of control. The helplessness that is felt when confronted with a significant life change. Something drastic has either changed recently or is about to. And so falling from the sky symbolizes a crossroads you reach when at the precipice of real change occurring. And much like falling and having nothing to grab onto, the interpretation is that a decision needs to be made, and you feel you are unable to make it. There are many other fall scenarios in dreams: falling into corridors, falling into water, falling into another dream, to name a few. But within them all, one thing remains clear. No matter how you fall, you still fall. There is still a feeling of losing control. Something is weighing on your mind, stirring unconscious feelings of helplessness and vulnerability. Identify what that is and address it. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, subscribe. Hello, I'm HEXE from HEXE and HEARTH. I hope you enjoyed the first segment of this video. We enter the second segment. This is a pick a card that's going to answer a very specific question. Today's pick a card question is, why do I feel like I'm out of control? I'll give you a minute to choose between 1, 2, and 3. and I'm going to dive right in. If you chose card 1, you chose the Three of Swords. Why do you feel like you're out of control? You're not feeling the feelings. The Three of Swords it's about pain, to be quite frank. It's about sorrow, it's about sadness. You have suffered a loss on some level. That doesn't necessarily mean personal, it could be financial, it could be any aspect of your life, but you have suffered a loss of some sort, and it's a loss that you're not acknowledging. There's a, an avoidance of the feelings that are coming with the loss. You feel like you're out of control because you are not allowing for this kind of emotional response to sorrow. You're not allowing yourself to feel all of the feels, and in doing so, only do you then move forward, and that is why you feel like you're out of control. Not channeling your emotions, not feeling your emotions, simply repressing your emotions, or avoiding, distracting yourself from what you're actually feeling, it's no good. And it's not going to see you move forward. It's not going to see you feel like you're back into control. So you might have some falling dreams. Moving on to card 2. If you chose card 2, we have the Five of Wands. Okay, so if you chose card 2, why do you feel like you're out of control? We have the representation of a conflict. Now, a lot of times this is perceived in the form of competition. And sometimes it could be healthy competition that motivates you, and sometimes it's not so healthy. In this situation, why do you feel like you're out of control? It's because there is a perceived competition or said conflict that is, and I say perceived because it could be just internal. You could perceive conflict that may not be there, or you could perceive competition that may not actually be there. But tensions are running high, and that's why you feel like you're out of control. Perhaps you feel like you're sort of falling behind. Is someone getting the upper hand competitively? Or at least you feel that way. On some level, it doesn't have to be, it could literally be any aspect of life. It very much could be work related, but it could be personal relationships too. But there's just the tension in the air. And what always I go with for Five of Wands is it always tells me that it's not worth it. And this is why you feel like you're out of control. You are lending energy to conflict or conflicts, that could be plural, that you don't have to. It's not necessary. You shouldn't engage in. It's not worth it. It's going to, it's one of those sort of stagnant sort of conflicts. It's not going to be fixed through just having a conversation. You're sort of past that point, you don't see eye to eye. There's a tension. It's not necessarily competition, but there is a tension. That's why you're feeling out of control, is you can't rein in these sorts of feelings in the environment around you. But just realize, if you engage in these sorts of conflicts that aren't necessarily, important, then you have, energy that's going where it shouldn't be going. That's not very productive, especially if those conflicts really won't see any end result of solution or resolution. It's stagnation. It's, you've hit the wall. So that's why you feel like you're out of control. It's not something that you can necessarily fix. And sometimes you just have to accept that. Okay, and if you chose card 3, we have Death. Okay. So you feel out of control because, much like the Death card reminds us all, that change is ever coming, and to everyone. No one escapes that. So it's not necessarily a bad change, it's not necessarily in a negative way, but why you feel out of control is because you're being met with a change that really is beyond your control. That big a change, that big a shift, is what it actually is. Both internally and externally, like your environment, people around you, like there is a shift either coming, or you started to feel the winds, because there's a change, and you feel out of control because there's nothing you can do about it. It's gonna happen. And you know, the advice always with the death card is to embrace the change, you know, be positive about it, welcome it, because it's gonna be there whether you like it or not, and it's best to sort of, you know, go with it, because you know, it's gonna happen either way. And how you choose to respond to it and, you know, learn from it and move from it, sort of decides how you feel about it on the other end. And why you would feel out of control, that makes perfect sense, is there is a great shift, a change that is occurring in some aspect in your life. And it's like, whoa, you didn't see it coming, or maybe you did. That's always a possibility. But it's an impactful shift. It's a big change. It's a big change, and you don't necessarily feel comfortable with it, and it means you'd have to let some other things go. And this is why you feel like you're out of control, because in changes like this, you're gonna have to let go of some stuff, whether you like it or not. That could be relationships, that could be a job, that could be bad habits, a mindset. Something big is in the winds here, and you're having trouble sort of going with the flow of it, and that's why you feel out of control. It's really an embrace kind of thing with the death card. The change is upon you. It's going to happen regardless. It's how you face it, and that's why you'd feel out of control. I totally get that. I sympathize with you. Great changes don't come easy to anyone. I sympathize with those that chose the first card also, Three of Swords. This card symbolizes pain, and I mean, among other things, but it symbolizes pain, and it's about feeling it and going through the process. And so why you would feel out of control is, I mean, who wants to feel that? Okay, so this is the pick a card for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, do all the things, subscribe. Also, the first segment of the video, if you did enjoy it, or you have dreams that you would like interpreted, please drop me a line in the comment. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.